Yoda Bum. Who's a cute little poop? Who's a cute little poop? You can't chew my books. No, you're not allowed.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be doing a book haul and then picking one book that I want to read for the month as part of my Tackle My TBR challenge. So as I said in my last video, my wrap up for February, I'm ditching TBRs for a while. I'm just not feeling it. They feel really restricting right now, and I tend to stop reading because I don't want to read what's on my TBR, which is just dumb. So I am going to ditch them, at least for the next couple of months, and see if I feel better or more able to read as I feel I want to, basically. So that is the plan. The Tackle My TBR challenge is a challenge that I'm doing this year. So each month I pick one prompt and pick a book from my overall TBR shelf I've had for many years, and I'm going to carry on with that challenge because I still want to keep going with that. So that is the one book that I will have to read during the month, but the rest of it is just going to be whatever I fancy in the moment, because that's how I feel like rolling just now. So as I said, in place of the TBR this month, we're going to do a book haul. So I haven't done a proper book haul video, I don't think. And the one, I think I've maybe done one, and it was all like ebooks and audiobooks. If there was any print books, it was hardly any, because I've been really lax in buying print books for a long time. Probably because my shelves are mainly full, and I think when it comes to print books, I like to be, maybe if it's a series I'm really into, I like to buy the books, or maybe a standalone that I just love. And there's a lot of books that I've read recently that I didn't really want to shell out for the book. I wanted to, get the Kindle copy or something to see if I liked it first. But I also feel like not having the physical book is actually hampering my excitement a little bit. I'm not going to stop buying Kindle books, but I think for things that I'm really excited about, I want to have the physical book in front of me to enjoy. So I have got quite a selection of books surrounding me at the minute, like all around me, of things I've bought recently. It was also my birthday recently, so I got some books as presents for my birthday, so I'll show you those as well. And then I bought quite a few just for myself because I felt like it. So starting off, collecting mainly hardbacks, admittedly, but I will show you all the books that I have accumulated since the start of the year. So the first book that I've bought this year was one I bought for myself, and you'll have already seen it if you've watched any of my sort of recent vlogs or my wrap up, and that is this one here. This is Poems for the End of the World by Katie Wismer. Just a short little book here, just like a poetry collection. I absolutely adore this book. So this is one of the ones that I bought a Kindle copy of at the end of last year, and I loved it so much I wanted to have a paper copy. So this kind of kicked off me wanting to buy paper copies again, basically. I had to have this on my shelves because I love it so much. I've already read it again since buying it, and it's just, I love this poetry collection so much. And the main sort of themes are sort of relationships, new beginnings, illness, lots of different kind of things, and it's such a powerful collection. I absolutely adore it. So I'm so chuffed to finally have a copy to add to my shelves. Although admittedly, I'm going to need to find some space to add these books because it's pretty full back here. Next, we'll move on to the books that I got for my birthday. So my fiance Ewan bought me a couple of books for my birthday. We tend not to do massive gifts for each other because we just don't, we're not really gifty people. So we tend to just kind of do small things. So there was a couple of books that I was really keen on getting my hands on. So that's what he got me for my birthday. So the first is again one you'll have seen if you saw my last wrap up. I will link it somewhere. I'm going to figure out where it goes at some point, but I just can't get it in my head. So the book he got me is this one. This is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I'm very late to the game with reading this one, but after watching pretty much all the booktubers I watch read the third one of this, I decided to jump on the bandwagon and start reading it myself. So he got me the first in this trilogy. So I've kind of gotten stuck into this one, so that I've been enjoying that recently. Quick aside, since he bought me that one for my birthday, I've been enjoying it so much, I've placed orders for the second and third books. As things go, the third one has showed up. So I have the third one, A Vow So Bold and Deadly, but the second one is being a bit more tricky. So like I say, this is the third one in this series here, and the second one is A Heart So Fierce and Broken. This one has not arrived yet. I placed an order for it and then it didn't show up, and then I chatted to the seller and they were like, oh, it's been delayed because of COVID, and I'm like, excellent. So I found it on Book Depository, so I've placed another order for that one and cancelled the original one because they couldn't tell me when it was going to get here, and I'm like, I just want it soon because I'm reading the first one. So the one from Book Depository is apparently on its way to me, but I must admit I've been eyeing up a copy on eBay just in case anything goes wrong with that one, because I feel like it's cursed at this point. And I'm like, I am not owning book number 1 and 3 in hardback and having to settle for a paperback of the second book, because that would look ridiculous on my shelves and I cannot deal with it. I'm determined to get the second one in hardback as well. But anyway, I've got 2 of the 3 and I'm waiting for the green one to show up. Typical. Green's my favourite colour as well. That is the one that should have shown up promptly. Going back to books I got for my birthday, my best friend bought me a couple of books that I've been eyeing up. So me and my friend really like to talk about kind of mental health and wellness and ways of living and all that kind of fun stuff. So she got me 2 books that I've been really keen to read kind of on that topic. So I will go grab those. So the first is here's where I really can't pronounce what it's called. Is it Hygge? I think it's Hygge. Anyway, the Little Book of Hygge. I think that's how you say it. So this is the Danish way to live well. So the person that I saw this book, the channel I saw was Arna Elaine. She recommended this one because she's obsessed with all things Danish. So she read this one and said it was really comforting and cozy and just a nice thing to flick through. So yeah, I think it's like lots of like cutesy things in it, and basically how to live cozy and cute, I think, is basically summing it up. But how gorgeous is this little hardback? It's going to look so cute on my shelf. So I'm very, very chuffed I got this one from my friend. And she also bought me another book along the same lines, but I'm pretty sure it's like the Japanese version. So this is Wabi Sabi, and I think it's basically the Japanese version of the book I just showed you. But how cute is this? I love the colour of this book. It's gorgeous, and then it's got a little branch and a little bird. So yeah, I think this is also called, this is the Japanese wisdom for a perfectly imperfect life. And I'm really anti-perfection. I think perfection does not exist and people should stop chasing it so much. So I am very keen to get stuck into this one. And again, it's so cute. Like, it's just the cutest little book ever. So yeah, my friend got me 2 lovely books for my birthday, and they look so cute together. Like, oh, love them so much. So thanks to Tiff if she's watching. So another book I got from Ewan for my birthday, I got buried in the books over here. This is Bridget Jones's Diary. This is the 25th anniversary edition. So again, gorgeous hardback with these famous underpants on them. So confession time. I have never read Bridget Jones's Diary, and I've never watched Bridget Jones's Diary. So I know what it's about vaguely, obviously, but it's been one of those things I've always wanted to read and always wanted to watch, and never got round to doing either of them. So I decided when I saw this, I was watching, it's Emma something. I don't know what her last name is. I can clearly only remember the first name because it's fabulous. So Emma from Bookbreak was talking about this one and why Bridget Jones is still an icon even 25 years later. And admittedly, I saw this gorgeous hardback and was like, I have to have it. So even though I've never read it, I wanted a fancy edition of it. So I'm going to finally read Bridget Jones this year. That is the plan. And I'm going to do it with this stunning hardback. So I'm assuming no one at this point needs to know what Bridget Jones is about. So I'm not going to bore you with an explanation. But how cute is this little book? So next we'll get stuck into the books that I recently bought for myself. And there's quite a few. So a lot of them are fairly new releases that I've seen a lot of my favourite booktubers reading, and I just decided to go mental and buy them all, because why not? I felt like being a rebel and just buying a bunch of books. So I've been waving it around in the background, so here we go. This one is Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas. I think this one came out last year, I think. I'm pretty sure this one came out last year or the year before, so fairly new. And this is this follows Yadriel, I think his name is. And his family are kind of involved. Oh, my ring light's catching the book there. And his family are involved in kind of helping ghosts move on, I think. And I think there's like different gender roles in his family. And his family are having difficulties accepting his gender. So he wants to prove himself. And so he decides to try and move on the spirit of his murdered cousin, I believe. But I think it goes wrong and he messes with the wrong ghost. And I think there's a romance between him and the ghost. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's what it's about. But this sounds super cute and I really want to read it. So I've heard a lot of people raving about this one. So I'm finally going to have a go at reading it myself. So my next purchase, again, another one that I've seen on various booktube channels. This is Forest of Souls by Laurie Lee. And this one here follows Saoirse, I think. And I think Saoirse is trying to become a spy for the Queen, quite possibly. And I think her friend gets killed and she brings him or her back. I'm not even sure if it's a him or her. She brings her friend back and I think it kind of reveals that she has like sort of special powers. She's got to help keep the spirits in the deadwood at bay, something like that. It sounds really cool. I think it's got like shaman magic and stuff in it. So that sounds really cool. And again, another one that I'm really keen to read. So my next one is, again, I'm going to say it again. I saw on some of my favourite booktubers talking about it. So this one is Bonecryer's Moon by Catherine Purdy. And I think the concept behind this one is the Bonecryers are women that ferry the spirits of the dead, either like to heaven or hell, basically. But to kind of, as part of a ritual to become one of these Bonecryers, you need to slay the man you're destined to love. So I think the characters here are Alice and Bastian. So she's got to complete the ritual by killing the man she's destined to love to become the next matriarch of the Bonecryers. And yeah, it's basically, I think it's their romance. Bit tricky if you're destined to kill the man you're meant to love, but sounds fascinating. So I'm really excited to get to this one, and I think there might be a second one out. But I'm not entirely sure. I could be talking nonsense. One that I definitely know is the first one in a series is by Kat Cho, and this is Wicked Fox. So this one sounds absolutely fascinating to me. So this one is again another romance, the paranormal kind of edge to it. So I think the main character, I think her name's Mi-young. I think she is basically a part human and part fox. I think it's based on like Korean mythology. Possibly, not 100% sure on that. But yeah, so she is part human, part fox, and she's got to drain the life force from men, I think, to survive. And then instead of draining the life force of said chap on the front cover here, I believe she saves him, which is against the rules. And then this kind of sets off a wild adventure. It's partly very much like a K-drama kind of thing. But yeah, I must admit, it's the fox thing that pulled me in. So recently I did a rewatch of Teen Wolf. Love that program. It's so bad it's good. And one of the characters, she's like part fox spirit type thing. And when I heard about this book, it made me think of that. So that's kind of why I want to read it. So no shame, that's why I want to read this book. And I know there's a second one out at least of this one. So if I do like it, then I know I have something else to read after it. So another one to add to my haul pile over here. So the next one I bought, I saw on the BooksNest, I believe. I'm sure it was the BooksNest I saw this one on. And this is The Magpie Society by Zoe Sugg and Amy McCulloch. So this book is, I think it's like a YA kind of mystery thriller type thing, set in a school, and the two main characters of Audrey and Ivy, they try and find out what happens to a missing girl, or what's happened to a missing girl. I think that is the crux of the book. Heard good things, so I'm quite keen to see if I like this one as well. Finally getting to the end of this haul, so 2 to go. One will come as no surprise if you've seen a few of my recent sort of TBRs, things I want to read this year kind of thing. From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So I've been mentioning this book in a few videos recently. I definitely want to read this one. This has been making the rounds on BookTube for a while. Some people rave about it and some people think it's a load of hooey. And I want to see where I fall. I imagine I'm going to really enjoy it. It's a paranormal kind of romance between a maiden who's got to be kept kind of secluded, and her bodyguard. I do quite like the bodyguard trope, I must admit. So I think this one should be quite good, and I think it's meant to go in a way you don't expect. So I'm very curious to see how this one likes. It's a bit of a chonker for like a romance as well. So like that is a decently sized book. So yeah, looking forward to get to this one very soon. It is on my list of 21 things I want to read this year. So we'll definitely be getting to it as soon as possible. Although, with the big pile in front of me here, there's so many books I need to get to pretty soon. And last of all, I've gotten this one by Nina Varela. This is Crier's War. Oh, try and position it so the ring light can't see it. So this is Crier's War. So as far as I know, this book is a romance. It's a sapphic romance between a human and the leader of the Autome. Not entirely sure what the Autome are, but I think they're like created by humans, I think, and then overthrew them. So anyway, I believe it is a romance between a human servant and the daughter of the sovereign. I think the human is trying to kill the daughter of the sovereign and then they fall in love, something like that. Again, another chonker, and I know book 2 is out. I'm fairly certain book 2 is out. So if I like it again, there is another one to get stuck into. So yeah, I am very, very excited to get into this one as well. A little bit different from what I normally read, but Jean Mingus from Jean's Bookish Thoughts was talking about this one, and she's mentioned it a few times, so it made me want to give it a go as well. So yeah, that is the last of the books in my book haul. So like I said, I have A Heart So Fierce and Broken apparently on its way to me. So I was hoping to have that with me by the time I did this book haul. That's not happened. And I also have another book on its way to me, but it's been delayed for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it might not get to me for another month. But I couldn't wait any longer to film the book haul. So that's another couple of books that I can show in my next one, as I imagine there'll be more books to come whenever things take my fancy. So that is my massive book haul. For me, this is huge. I have not bought books like this since I was in uni. So yeah, I'm really excited to have a bunch of new books to arrange on my shelves. And when I say arrange, I mean tear everything down and reposition everything, because it's been far too long since I've done that. So I have a few days off coming up, so I imagine I'll be tackling the bookshelves at that time. I dread to think how much hay and stuff from the guinea pig enclosure over there is actually down the back of these books. I imagine there'll be a good cleaning required. So the next part of the video is to pick my next Tackle My TBR book for March. So let's grab the dear jar. Here we are. So we have the leftover prompts here, and we're going to pick the next one. There we go. So, read my terrible handwriting here. Read a book that you've owned for a long time but never got round to reading. Well, I have a few of those. But I must admit, when I thought of this prompt, there was a book that sprung to mind, and I think I might just go with that one. Where is it? Here it is. This is kind of the book that jumped into my head when I thought of that one. And that is The Silver Witch by Paula Braxton. I have had this book for at least 5 years. And I bought it because the cover is beautiful. I remember buying it in a charity shop and I thought the cover was really pretty and I wanted it and I bought it, and I've never even come close to reading it. I can't even remember what it's about, to be honest. So let's have a wee look. It still has the Oxfam sticker on the back. Oh, me. Okay, so I'm just going to read the back of the book, because like I say, I've completely forgotten what this book's about. So 1 year after artist Tilda Ford Wells loses her husband, she is finally ready to move into the secluded Welsh cottage they were meant to be sharing together. In the valley below her mountain home is a mystical lake which inspires a strange energy in her. She starts to experience potent dreams, visions, and presentiments? Can't even say what's on the back, which all lead her to Seren, the witch and shaman who, legend has it, lived on the lakeshore in Celtic times. As Tilda explores the lake's powers and her own, her connection to Seren grows stronger, and when she comes under grave threat, she must rely on Seren and this ancient magic to save her. So, this book is one of the oldest... This book is one of the oldest unread on my shelves. Like I say, it's been a good 5 years, I think, since I bought this book. So this is the one I'm going to try and get to this month. And I'm really excited about it. I feel that this book, I have let this book down by not reading it. And yeah, that is going to be my Tackle My TBR pick for this month. So that is all we have to do in this video. We've had a look through all the books I've recently hauled, and we've picked my book for Tackle the TBR for March. So I'm going to end the video here. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you've hauled any books recently, or if there's any books you're ready to read in March. Also, let me know how you're feeling about TBRs. Do you still do TBRs, or do you feel restricted by them? I'm really curious to see how other people kind of work it out. I think they seem to work for so many people. I don't know why they don't work for me. But yeah, let me know how you feel about them. Okay, so the guinea pigs are starting to fight. So while they're rumbling away in the background, this is the problems of filming in a guinea pig enclosure. Qui-Gon, don't do that to your brother. I'm going to go and stop guinea pigs fighting. And I will see you again in another video very, very soon. Bye.